Pull-ups. No, not the exercise, but to arrive at a location oftenly unexpected or with a showy manner. Now you guys know the pull-ups to be called as aura farming, and I believe we have taken aura farming to the extreme because of TikTok brain rot. But even if it's aura farming to some of y'all, we have to agree when somebody has a cold pull-up, they have a cold pull-up. We can't hate, we gotta respect it. Now thank this guy for the video idea. He deserves a standing ovation, so everybody, round of applause. Now I have asked you guys to give me some moments of people pulling up to the function, whether they succeed in their mission or whether they make themselves look like fools. We have 3 categories, being anime of course, movies, and video games. And you know we gotta start with anime, so peep game. Now yes, we already know that Piccolo and Vegeta are the kings of pulling up in cold ways. And best believe there are many pull-ups in Dragon Ball that I already talked about in my aura farming vids. You literally got Vegeta in the glaciers for who knows how long until the moment is right for him to make his entrance. Oh yeah! Stop playing with my goat! And of course, he got washed.
Oh yeah, AB.
And don't even get me started on Piccolo. This man got it for real. I can't even hold you. This man will do anything necessary to get a clean pull-up just for him to get cooked like Vegeta in 2 seconds. Every movie has a pull-up, every arc has a pull-up. But today, Dragon Ball will not be the main topic. Aww. But anyway, we will start off with an anime from the big 3, and that's Naruto.
Hey, yo, Trey, can I get a beat?
Now, Naruto since the beginning has been a top pick for the coldest pull-ups of all time. In the first few episodes, you really got Zabuza making an entrance like this.
Oh yeah, AB.
This is the craziest ish I've ever seen. This man really got his back turned to the world. Dog, we don't know who you are.
2 seconds later.
And a few episodes later, you got Naruto showing up to the function late just so he can look cool. And I can't even hold you, he was cold for that. But let me talk about Sasuke real quick. This man Sasuke is one of the coldest characters in Naruto, and do not lie, when you saw him, you just wanted to be just like him. Now peep how he pulls up to the Chunin exams.
And you are?
I'm Sasuke Uchiha.
Y'all see how clean Sasuke looks? And it's the fact that they had to delay his turn 2 times and he really pulling up like this. This is what you call a cold pull-up moment. Look at the fit, the pose, and the music for this man. This man went triple platinum. We can even take it to Shippuden when he pulled up on the 5 Kage. He was really moving crazy, taking on the lackeys and the Kage by himself. Oh yeah, he wildin'.
He's here.
And this iconic scene with him standing on the ceiling upside down and everybody just staring at him, that's aura. And of course, he almost got fried until he pulled up.
So quit whining, Raikage. I am here to explain something to you all. Project Tsukinome.
Man, y'all talk about Sasuke pulling up, but we forget the man himself, Madara. He saved Sasuke from turning into sand particles from the Kage, and he's staring down the rest of the Kage with his Sharingan. This is what you call dog mentality. Now there is a lot of pull-up moments from Naruto, but the last few I'm gonna talk about is from the Pain arc and the war. Now Pain pulling up to the leaf is what you call actual terrorism. They pulled up, killed the shinobi on watch, and went into the village just to start causing havoc to find Naruto, who isn't even there. They even killed my guy Kakashi. I'm sick. But that's not even the worst of it, because Pain goes up into the air, and you think, there's no way this man can obliterate the Leaf Village in one shot. Think again.
This world shall know pain. Almighty push.
And And with that attack, the Leaf Village is in utter shambles. And while it's looking like all hopes is lost, Sakura had to make that call. The GOAT himself, Naruto, pulls up. This is what you call a cold pull-up moment. I can't even hold you. Look at the drip. Look at the crew. Look at the pose. This man is nice. And one wasn't even enough. They had to drop another one. Just look how we pulled up right here.
The one I seek
Is me!
Man, Naruto's so goated for that, bruh. Top 5 pull-ups in the whole show. Now, there is one more entrance that I would like to talk about from Naruto. And that is when he pulled up.
You know what I was like during my glory days, do you?
The dog himself, Madara Uchiha. Now, I have already talked about this when he pulled up on the entire Shinobi Alliance. This man had no fear, no hesitation, just pure dogness. He pulled up just to wipe an entire alliance by himself. That is crazy. It even got so bad to the point that this man just started summoning meteors from pure thin air just to show how much of a dog he is. He wildin'. And later in the war, just look how he's posted up. Man, your favorite villain can't even compete, bruh. Some of y'all might call it aura farming, but how can he farm what he already has? Now, there's a lot more pull-ups in Naruto. I can even make a whole video about Naruto pull-ups alone, but we gotta move on to AOT. Now, yes, we all know Attack on Titan is a top 10 anime of all time, and I can't even lie, the pull-ups in the anime are insane. We can start at season 1 where the Colossal Titan pulled up in Shigashina and had everyone trembling in fear. Or even when Levi pulled up to save Ottoman and Airman from the Titan just to pose right in front of them. And you can't even hate for real, he's called humanity's strongest soldier for a reason. There are a lot of pull-ups in AOT most definitely, but we have to talk about season 3 and season 4 because those are the best seasons for the pull-ups, and it's not even close, I promise you. And you know I gotta start it out with Levi versus Kenny. First off, the way Kenny pulled up on Levi was so cold. He just straight boomed his mans, and then you have Kenny and his entire crew moving crazy to pull up on Levi. Then we get this great scene. Kenny! And it's just Kenny's crew pulling up on Levi throughout the entire city. He really got him on the chase and got Levi moving like this. I'm telling you, the pull-up was crazy. And the fight for this was crazy too, man. I love this. Levi was really taking on an entire crew by himself. But next, I gotta talk about when they pulled up to Shigashina. So after Ottoman tells everybody to look inside the walls for the Titans, they find Reina, and Levi was on straight menacing timing. And we're gonna get to him in a second. But first, we gotta talk about the Beast Titan.
We still need to find his allies!
The man himself, Zeke, pulled up, and I feel like this is underrated as a pull-up, but y'all gotta understand, they set them up for a trap and said no one is leaving until the victor has been decided. He gives them no option but to fight, and he pulls up like this. This is tough. And look how he's just posted up with the Titans. You can't even tell me this ain't cold, but that's not even the coldest pull-up though. That man Levi, oh man, he's about to show you why he's called humanity's strongest soldier. So Commander Erwin just got done giving one of the greatest anime speeches in history and sends everyone to their death. And this is a pull-up within itself because the GOAT Erwin really dropped one of the greatest, if not the greatest anime speech of all time. Bro was really talking about,
Because my soldiers do not buckle or yield when faced with the cruelty of this world.
and even though everyone got cooked, at least they went out like real ones. If you heard Erwin's speech, bruh, you know he was spitting. And while Zeke is distracted on them, he realizes his Titans are down. And then he appears. The GOAT himself, Levi. Man, I'm telling y'all, this had me hyped as heck. This man Levi really speed blitzed him and was frying the Beast Titan. And he went for the nape, and words can't even explain how beautiful this was. So watch it. So beautiful, bruh. One of the best pull-ups in anime history. Now, of course, there's a lot more pull-ups, especially in season 4. There's like 10 of them. In the first episode, you got Marley pulling up on the ops and dropping down like supply drops and then turning into titans to take out the ops. And they was going crazy. You got the armor titan, the cart titan, whatever this titan is, I forgot his name, but they was pulling up mad wild. And Gabi, she a goat. Y'all can hate me all y'all want, but Gabi is a W. And then a few days later, Eren Yeager. That man Eren did one of the craziest pull-ups in anime I'd ever seen. And it's so crazy, he really faked being a Marleyan soldier and went through hell just so he can find Reiner and slide on the ops. 10 out of 10 performance, this is amazing. And it doesn't even stop there, because as soon as he was about to get sent back to the lobby by the Warhammer Titan, he calls for backup.
It's time, Mikasa.
Mikasa comes out of nowhere and she was cooking. Then the scout regiment comes out of nowhere too, and they just started causing havoc on everybody. This man Eren is a menace to society. He really became what he hated most just so he can slide on Marley. And they did the same thing to him in season 1. It's insane, bruh. Yes, there's a lot more moments on season 4, but we gonna have to move on to a show that is top 3, really top 2 in my opinion, of all time. And that is One Piece. And you know we had to bring a special guest for that. So let me pass the mic to my guy, BucketHatSplash.
Now, right, One Piece is the greatest series of all time. Yes, I said series, not anime series, I said series. So naturally, it got the best characters, the best plot, the best world building, and some of the best pull-ups too, which is what this video is about. Like for example, when Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates pulled up on Enies lobby, pulled up on CP9, that was crazy. If you don't know what CP9 is, basically CP9 is a group of government assassins. So in other words, there's some thugs. They go around killing people, covering the government's messes. They're murderers. She kinda bad though. And at first, when the Straw Hats first faced them, not gonna lie, they were getting cooked by CP9. Zoro got packed up, Luffy got his face grabbed and chucked through a wall. My God, no! But even though the Straw Hats got touched in ways that shouldn't have been televised, they still jumped on a stolen train, went all the way to Enies lobby, and pulled up on CP9 to save their friend Robin. That's tough! Like bro, look at the way they all were walking up looking mad official, like they meant business, like they were about to do something for real. The way they were all lined up, nice! Another good pull-up was the Frankie House pull-up. Basically, Usopp has some bread in a suitcase. He got kidnapped, then he got finessed of the bread. After that, they jumped him really badly and left him on the streets. I'm laughing right now, but when I was watching, I was not laughing. I felt bad. They had him crying. This unnecessarily long nose, they broke it. The Straw Hats heard about it, so they were like, I bet. They start walking to the Frankie house looking mad cool. Some dude opened the door, he got blasted immediately. Face shot. Then the Straw Hats proceeded to blow their whole building down to smithereens. Then they aura farmed on the destroyed building. I just know Zoro is listening to Youngboy on an AirPod right now in his left ear. In One Piece as well, there's also the pull-up where Jinbei literally threw Luffy at the admirals with some water. Luffy pulled up on them with the log in his hand. I don't know what he was finna do with the log, but he had the log though. Luffy stood no chance at any of the admirals, and we know this because he got fried right after. But like the pose he hit with the log while looking at these 3 Titanic beings was cold. But the coldest pull-up in all of One Piece to date, as of June 6, 2025, is definitely the Straw Hats walk to Arlong Park. Arlong is a shark fish man. He's also a twat. One day he pulled up to Nami's village and finessed the whole village of their bread, and every month he comes back to finesse them of their bread. What he's gonna do to their village is what Pain did to the Leaf village. So you know what I'm saying, they gotta pay for their survival. Arlong shot Nami's mom too. Arlong made a bet with Nami though. Arlong said that if she can give him $100 million, he'll leave the village alone and go somewhere else. He spent 10 10 years, bag chasing, get into the cheese. She was almost at 100 million, but then Arlong scammed her. Arlong told some Marine where the money Nami was hiding was at, so the Marine pulled up and took it. Unfortunately, Nami was the method. Nami was sad, the whole village was sad, everybody was sad. The village was like, you know what? Screw this, we better go box Arlong. As the villagers were running up to the gate that Arlong was behind, Johnny and Yosaku were like, if y'all don't sit down, if y'all go through and fight Arlong, what are y'all possibly gonna do? We tried fighting them, we got work, and we would work y'all. So if we not doing nothing, y'all aren't doing nothing. But shut up, just be patient. We're waiting for the arrival of certain men. What certain men? You know, who are you talking to like that? You want a box? But anyway, look there. If they can't fold Arlong, nobody in the East Blue can fold Arlong. Then it's just Luffy, Sanji, Usopp, and Zoro walking mad cool, mad slow, dramatically slow actually. They actually are farming right now if we're gonna keep it a buck. You know the pull-up is tough if the pull-up is somehow making Usopp look cold. Usopp never looks cold. When they finally get to the gate, Luffy punches the door down, looks at Arlong, decks Arlong in the mouth. Like 10 episodes later, the Arlong pirates get thoroughly defeated. Sensational pull-up, bro, and then got followed by a massacre. Yes, sir. Moral of the story, if the Straw Hats are ever pulling up on you, 1, they're gonna make it cold. 2, how do I say goodbye?
One Piece is so goated, and if you haven't watched it, you should really watch it because it will really change your life. Trust me. Now for the last anime I'm gonna talk about is an anime y'all wanted me to talk about for a long time, and that is Bleach. Now Bleach is a very tough anime. Have I finished it? One day we will. But the Soul Society arc is a perfect example of a retrieval arc. And I can't even hold you for real, the pull-ups in here was honestly great. As soon as they got to the Serete, it was just pull-ups on pull-ups on pull-ups on pull-ups. Just look at the way Ikkaku and Yamachika pull up on Ichigo. They look tough. But when he pulled up,
I was getting tired of waiting.
What's the matter with you? How long are you gonna keep looking over there?
Kenpachi Zaraki, one of the coldest people to ever exist in Bleach ever. By just his spiritual pressure alone, he has Ichigo trembling in fear, and he thought he was already dead. And the way he was just looking down on him is just aura. You see, Kenny can't even farm aura because he's already born with it. He's him. Bro has so much aura, these two couldn't even stand being in his presence. And then he pulls up behind Ichigo while Ichigo's still looking in the direction he was sitting there. Hey bro, he ain't sitting there no more. And the fight was honestly great. I loved the interaction they had between the two. And then we get another pull-up similar to Kenny, and that's Byakuya. And with this spiritual pressure alone, he really got them dudes trembling in fear. And even Ichigo can feel the spiritual pressure, and he not even close to him. And Byakuya was just straight cooking, man. I can't even lie to y'all. And you just got multiple pull-ups within this whole episode, like Ukitake stopping Byakuya, and then Ichigo pulls up to box Byakuya, and then Yoruichi pulling up to stop Byakuya. Like, this is tough, bruh. Everyone was on timing in this arc, and so many people have already talked about the arc, and I understand why. This is honestly one of Bleach's greatest arcs, but the greatest pull-up in the entire arc has to be from Ichigo. This man with the cleanest pull-up in the entire arc to save Rukia. This man Ichigo tough. As soon as Rukia was about to get sent back to the lobby, he appears and stops it with his Zanpakuto on his back. He didn't even draw his sword. And even when they tried to escape, Ichigo pulls up on the people trying to get Rukia and straight one-taps them all without even using his Zanpakuto. He's nice. I'm telling y'all, man, this arc is just pull-ups on pull-ups on pull-ups on pull-ups. I could really make an entire video about the Soul Society arc alone and how tough it is, but that will never happen. Anyways, I know there are more anime moments, but this is about fiction, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the movies. And yes, there will be honorable mentions at the end, so if you think I missed any, watch till the end. Now to start off the movies, you know I gotta talk about the Avengers, man. Shout out Zephfire for already covering this on Infinity War. There are a lot of pull-ups in this movie, like how Thanos pulled up on Thor's ship and beat everybody to a pulp. He literally beat the Incredible out the Incredible Hulk. And I ain't never seen nothing this bad since Derrick Rose. And just like the Derrick Rose injury, he was never the same again. You hate to see it. And when Cap, Falcon, and Black Widow pulled up to help Vision and Wanda, it was so tough. We really got Captain America standing in the dark like we don't know who he is, and then he just pops out like these. And the way Falcon and Black Widow pulled up was clean. I can't even hold you. They was going crazy for the tag team. And don't get me started on Thanos. This man was pulling up everywhere, going through portals and just posing for the camera every time. Especially when he arrived on Wakanda. Just look at this. And they knew all hopes was lost. But let's be real. The best pull up in the entire movie has to be Thor. When he arrives to the battlefield, just watch. This man is so clean. All you see is a ray of light and see the Stormbreaker putting in that work. That scene was almost perfect until Bruce said this.
You guys are so screwed now!
Buddy, you're getting carried. You have no right to be talking this type of trash. Just like the dudes who be getting carried in the game and then just start talking trash. Bench players talking like they starters. Brother, sit down, please. You're embarrassing yourself in the entire squad. But Thor was just going stupid. Nobody could even touch him. And he could have just left it at that. But he was like, you know what? Here go another one for y'all. And he pulls up on Thanos like this. Yeah, this man is goated. One of the best Avengers of all time. Give this man an award.
2 seconds later.
Should have gone for the head.
Never mind, do not give this man an award. He really sold the cleanest pull-up in the entire movie, just for Thanos to erase half of y'all off the planet. And there are so many more pull-ups in the MCU movies, I don't even think I can talk about them all. But you know I have to bring up my African brother, Black Panther! From the start of the movie, just look how he pulls up. Y'all see how he just jumps off the aircraft and the music behind it just makes the scene even colder? And then when they look up just to see this, you already know Black Panther was finna start cooking. And that's exactly what he did. This movie is so legendary, I can remember it like it was yesterday. Killmonger pulling up to challenge T'Challa was beautiful. Had everyone in disarray and then he took the throne from T'Challa just for T'Challa to do this. Oh, the GOAT is back. This had everyone in theaters going crazy, I already know.
I never yielded!
And that is how you pull up to reclaim your throne. And that is exactly what T'Challa did. We can even take it back to when he first got introduced in Civil War. This man was moving devious. After his pops got murked, this man was on straight track down mode. And he was on Bucky. Just look how we pulled up on him. You cannot tell me this man ain't tough. John was so clean, I'm gonna have to commentate this segment real quick. Bucky comes in, but T'Challa says, weave, and they just get to boxing, and then Bucky gets hit with a back heel and a knee to the chest. Look how they got this man looking. He knows that John hurt. He comes in with the claws, and then he hits the spin move to hit Bucky to the floor. He comes in and does a reverse backflip to put Bucky on the ground again, and he goes in for the kill. But Bucky ain't letting that happen. The helicopter pulls up and just starts spraying, and then that was the chance for Bucky to make his escape. Alright, I'm done now. But yeah, that scene was straight fire, straight cinema. And don't even get me started with the chase down scene, man. I loved it. And when they get to the airport fight, you really got everyone pulling up. First off, look at my GOAT, Spider-Man.
On the roost!
That entrance was so clean, I'm gonna have to play it again. But the coldest, best pull-up in the entire MCU franchise is in Endgame. And they went pull-up for pull-up. You got Thanos bringing his entire army after cooking the big three, and Cap is a one-man army until you hear his dog Falcon say, "On your left." And we see everyone pulling up, coming back from the Shadow Realm, and they are ready for war. And then we got the entire squad on here, and you got Cap saying the famous line for the last time.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Yeah, this is peak. Everything about the MCU's pull-ups is just so amazing. I'm like Killmonger looking at the sunset. It's beautiful. And we even gotta talk about DC. And yes, I'm gonna talk about my GOAT, Batman. This man lives for the pull-up. Just look how they got him in the movie. The footsteps and him walking out the dark was cold. I don't even care if he's not even rushing to the scene. This man pull-ups game is tough. That is what you call menacing. Because after him walking out the dark alleyway, he really cooked these boys in 5 seconds and has the audacity to think he's tough. And you know what? He is. That's the GOAT. And the warehouse scene was a great example of a pull-up.
2 seconds later.
Such beauty. And Batman is taking out the henchman with no effort, as usual. He really slammed this dude's head on the crate just to throw the crate at another dude at the wall. Yeah, this man Batman's deranged, bruh. And even later in the movie, we see Superman pulling up on Batman for the ones. Look how menacing he looks. This is easily one of the coldest pull-ups in DC. Now to take it back to Marvel, we gotta talk about the Spider-Verse movie. I'm telling you, the pull-ups in here, man, goated. We can even start with Miguel saving Gwen from the Vulture. To start off the movie like this was just beautiful. I was geeking when I was rewatching this. Just look at how he's posing and everything. I know we're supposed to hate this guy, but he's tough. And even Spider-Woman pulling up on the motorcycle to kick Vulture and she's hitting the drift. Come on, man, that's tough. Now, yes, this is a phenomenal movie. I loved it. Sadly, there's not that many pull-ups in this movie, but the ones that they do have, go crazy. Now the pull-ups happen at the end of the movie where one Miguel pulls up to another universe to find Miles, and look at how he just enters into the dimension. Do y'all realize he just sliced his way into a dimension with no effort? And look at how the others pull up right behind him too. And then at the end of the movie, when Miles was captured by Uncle Aaron, he appears. That man Miles Morales being the Prowler was tough. The way they got this man posted up in the dark like he's Batman is insane. And this is why this is the better pull-up in my opinion, because I was not expecting that plot twist. Now I've mentioned a lot of Marvel because Marvel knows how to do a great pull-up scene. You gotta respect it. I probably did miss a couple of more movies, perhaps even shows, and if I did, mention some in the comments and I'll check it out. But now that the movies is over with, the last part that we gotta talk about is the video games, and you know who we gotta talk about when it comes to pulling up in video games. That man, Sonic. Now I can't even lie to you, when it comes to any type of Sonic video game, I've never played a single one. Brother, you had no childhood!
You need to leave!
Hey, chill out on me. Times was hard. I didn't have a DS. But best believe I was watching gameplay, and the opening scene to Unleashed was so heavenly. Seeing Sonic pull up on Eggman and taking on his entire army was crazy. Just look at this clip right here. That is aura to his finest, I'm telling you. And when he turned Super Sonic, this man was just causing havoc. He really had Eggman running away and was destroying entire ships with no effort. And then he got Eggman begging for his life. Eggman is so trash. But then my GOAT really fell for his horrible acting and gets captured. And then he took his emeralds as well. He really unstripped him of the drip. And then we get this.
You've really gone and done it this time, Eggman.
Ew! What is that? Other than that, the pull-up was cold. I can't even hold you. And that reminded me of another Sonic game from a long time ago. So the scene starts out with the celebration going on, and Elias is holding the flame for the ceremony, and she lights up the sign of Soliana. And everyone was having a good time until he appeared.
A pleasure to meet you at last, Princess of Soliana.
Of course, it's Dr. Eggman. And he was after the flame, but more importantly, he was after the Chaos Emerald. And as she's backed into a corner, the goat appears.
Wow, that's a pretty snazzy performance there.
The GOAT himself, Sonic! Y'all really thought I was finna forget about this iconic pull-up? This jump was a 10 out of 10. Just look how he hits the pause. And Sonic, like he always does, makes quick work of Eggman's robots, and he picks up the princess and he starts hitting the dash. And the fact that he can bob and weave the missiles while carrying her makes this scene even more goated. And y'all thought I was finna forget about Shadow? Nah. Fred, roll the clip. The Hedgehog, the myth, the legend, Shadow. Anything this man does is aura. He doesn't even have to try. Everything he does just looks cool. And look at how he exits the scene.
Understood. Initiating the mission now.
Yeah, this man tough, bruh. This game was fire, especially when we saw all three of them go Super Saiyan. I just wish they did a cutscene for them pulling up on the villain, but it's cool. Now, another game that I want to talk about is God of War. Now, the two pull-ups that I want to talk about is from God of War and Ragnarok, which are both similar. The first one is when Thor's brother Baldar pulls up to his house and he says this line.
I thought you'd be bigger.
And after a few minutes of talking, he just backhanded Kratos. Had my eyes popping out of my head like, who is this random think he is? And Kratos politely asked him to leave, but does he do that? Of course not. Instead, he just started giving Kratos combos which had no effect on him, and then Kratos with one punch just cooked bro in the chat. And I thought it was raps until I saw Baldar do this.
2 seconds later.
I need y'all to understand, even if it wasn't a flashy pull-up, the fact that he came to his own home and backhanded him and proceeded to hit combos and send him flying in the air on the God of War is insanity, which is why I had to talk about it. This fight was crazy too. You got Kratos raging and swinging trees like a twig, and you got Baldar still hitting combos. Man, this pull-up was insane. And you know who did the same thing? Thor. And his pull-up was way better. Watch this. Kratos is sleeping and then he hears something outside.
What was that? The ball.
He gets up and goes to the door, and then he opens it to the man himself, Thor. And he is pulled up for vengeance. The pull-up scene was amazing in this game. You even got Odin pulling up to his house just so they can make peace. But of course, Kratos doesn't know about peace. This man is all about war. It's in his name. And just like Baldar, Thor sends Kratos flying through his own roof. And while he's still flying in the air, Thor pulls up and grabs him by his bald head and is talking crazy. Kratos, how you let this happen to you again in back-to-back games? Brother, tee up! And that's what he did. The fight between them was great, with beautiful clashes here and Kratos giving him a clean right. What else can I say? These pull-ups were crazy and they ended crazy. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about was Super Smash Brawl. And again, shouts out to Zephfire for making videos on this, because everybody was moving crazy. Now, the only reason why I'm talking about this is so I can talk about my favorite parts to the game. Now, the amount of pull-ups that are in this game are more than everything that I talked about in this video combined. Now, the Donkey Kong pull-up wasn't anything special, just a monkey beating on his chest. I can go to New York and see the same thing.
Hey, yo, LeBron! When we see you in the finals! Bring that same energy!
But the way his man's pulled up, this man is on timing. The monkey himself, Diddy Kong! The way this man was shooting, you know this man stage ready. This is what you call a W-mans. And peep the pose, that John is tough. But later into the game, Donkey Kong gets cooked by Bowser. Now these three right here, when I tell you they know how to do a pull-up, they know how to do a pull-up. Just when we first see them and they got Meta Knight pulling up on Marth like this. This man Meta Knight was like, all hands, no talking, let's get to the boxing. And then they hit the chase down on Entry Minister just for them to sell the bag. But what one failed at, another man can succeed. Because then he pulls up. One of the coldest pull-ups in the entire game. It's top 5 and it ain't even 5. Then what is it? Maybe like a 4 or 3. And this squad is tough, I can't even lie to you. They giving the Z fighters a run for their money. Krillin, Shoutout, Yamcha, and Vegeta, take notes. This is how you get stuff done. Man, this team is incredible. Now there's a lot more pull-ups that I want to talk about in this game, like how Mario and Link both put up on each other and was on timing after seeing their girls get knocked off. Best believe me, when someone girl is in peril, them boys will start to go crazy. Just ask Goku when they cooked his wife. But there was one scene that had me jumping out of my seat, and I'ma play it for y'all real quick. So the ship flies out of the portal and they fire up a ray and they get to blasting. An explosion happens and then we see Bowser and Ganon on the ship posted up. Ganon looks to his left and sees something approaching. They see the ship approaching and they started to spray that thing down. The ship finally gets blown out of the sky, only for the other ships to appear from the blast. And peep how mad Bowser is, he's looking like an old man. And the aircrafts are moving crazy, maneuvering through every blast with no effort. Get these boys on Weave Nation immediately. And then we see another aircraft approaching and it's the man himself. That man Kirby, stop playing with him! And the GOAT Kirby is on time and just look at his face. Now I haven't played Smash like that, but I definitely played a game called Super Smash Flash, one of the best computer games known to man. And that man Kirby was a cheat code. Top 5 in the game, no cap. Kirby speed blitzed the ship and that jump was so fast it really paused the frame. Then the ship starts to explode and Ganon and Bowser leave the scene. Man, that pull-up was so cold. That jump is top 3 and it ain't 3. What is it then? It's like a 2. Then what's number 1? You already know. My GOAT, Sonic. My boy really pulled up with 1 minute left on the timer and saved the day. This pull-up was overdue and I wish he did get more game time, but the fact that they had him saving the day just proves he's the GOAT. So I'ma let it slide. And since y'all left so many in the comments, I'ma do some honorable mentions just for fun. First we got Black Clover and this amazing pull-up scene.
Disappear.
This clip has been all over TikTok and YouTube and I can't even hold you, that's one of the coldest pull-ups in anime. This is giving the Joni stopping Neji at the tuning exam type vibes. And if they didn't pull up, this little crash out was finna end his brother just because everybody liked his brother more than him. It really be your own blood, your own dog. You really can't be having snakes in your grass or they finna strike when least suspected. Now the last anime honorable mention will be from Dragon Ball, and that's from Trunks. When he pulled up on Frieza's entire army, this boy was on time and I'm telling you. He pulls up with a weak power level just so he could aura farm and cook Frieza's army within 2 seconds. That's the ultimate disrespect! And then he turns Super Saiyan to give Frieza PTSD from his last fight. He's cooked. This transformation was honestly one of my favorites and they did it really well when introducing Trunks in this arc. And when he ends Frieza, man, it was just beautiful. I think we can all agree this is the best Trunks, and I will go more into it when I make a Cell Saga video later in the future. Now, an honorable mention for the movies is Sonic 3. Yes, I have to glaze the Sonic franchise again. I'm sorry. I know y'all seen the Sonic 3 movie, and this movie was great, and the pull-ups in here were cold, especially Shadow. As soon as I saw him skating on water, I knew this man was on timing. Just look at how he pulls up on Team Sonic. The city being in shambles as an opportunity to look down on them and aura farm. This ain't even aura farming, my fault, this is just aura. and then he cooks them straight after. I'm telling you, Shadow was on a different type of timing in this movie. And if I wasn't such a Sonic glazer, he would be my GOAT. But that would never happen because Sonic is him. Just look at how he spins back on Shadow. Yeah, that is my GOAT. The fight scene for this was amazing, and the way they ended the fight with them saving Earth was peak. Now that's really all I got for the movies, but now I want to give the honorable mentions for the video games. I really wanted to talk about this game because this is one of the best games of all time, and that is Batman Arkham Knight. And I gotta talk about when Batman really used his Batmobile to do this. Oh my days! This man is him, bruh. I never thought I would say this, but a car having one of the cleanest pull-ups in the game is so tough, especially with it being the Batmobile. It just makes it 20 times better. And let's not forget when he pulled up on Penguin. He really went under the vents just to jump out and chokeslam him so we can find out where the Arkham Knight is. That is crazy work. And I don't even know why bro even thought sneaking Batman would work. You are not Sneaker Nation certified. Stay where you are. Hey, I tried to tell him. And then eventually they subdued Batman and they really thought they won. But the developers of this game was just setting them up for failure.
Right out of the...
This is you handling it, right?
Now I want to talk about the Arkham Knight. Everything about this man was just cold. From the way he pulled up on Batman with the chopper. And him pulling up and revealing himself as Jason Todd and turning into Red Hood. Man, everything he did was just cold. You can't hate. This game was absolutely fire. I'm gonna be so real. It was crazy long though, but bro, everything the developers did for this game was peak. And yeah, that's all I really got for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed this yap session of me talking about pull-up moments in fiction. And shout out my boy BucketHatSplash for hopping on the video with me. Y'all go sub up to his channel. And now I'm gonna send y'all boys out with a prayer. Dear Lord Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, the day that you put breath into our lungs so that we can wake up another day. I pray, Lord God, that I was a light to the people who are watching this video, and I pray, Lord God, that those who do not know your son Jesus Christ come to know your son Jesus Christ just as I have. And I pray that this video goes good, and I pray this video goes great. All for your glory. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. Man, make sure y'all boys repent, believe in Jesus, pray, and open up y'all Bibles, man. I love y'all, and I'm gonna catch y'all